Hey, everybody, it's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. I am the one and only, and as far as science is concerned, fortunately, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live on a Thursday evening, and I hope you're having an absolutely stellar one. And that everything is all right in your world. Well, everything is all right in my world because tonight we have got some guests. I mean, many guests. I haven't had this many guests on the show one whack, as they say, in quite some time, but they are awesome. And we're going to talk to them about their projects and their various doings and goings on here in just a few minutes. I see someone has entered the green room, so we're going to be joining up with them here in just a moment. I just want to mention real quick, we will be live streaming first edition Gamma World tomorrow night. So if you want to get your wasteland on and find out all that's new in the irradiated sands of the post-apocalypse, tune in. We have got a great group of players getting ready to throw down in the ruins. So hopefully you will want to tune in for that. So that is all happening tomorrow. And I've got a quiet weekend ahead of me. I know I had mentioned that I was going to be streaming with Harmony Ginger. That got pushed back a little bit, but that's going to happen. Never fear. LHRPG official, Kennick, hope you can dip back in. Wave of Mutilation, good to see you. Michael Dale, good to see you. So our guests tonight are really, really awesome. They are creators in the TTRPG space. They are just all around awesome folks, and they have got something really, really cool. And I'm so fortunate because it's very rare that I say that not only are the people coming on the stream great people, but they're good friends. So first, I'm going to welcome on Erik and Heidi, and we actually have a third guest. That's right, Jason Pennet is going to be joining us. But first, let's say hi to our guests, Heidi and Erik. Hello, how are you?
Hey,
good to see you.
It's good to see you guys too. So, yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I was reading up about EGGCON, which unfortunately I won't be able to make it to, but it looks like an absolutely amazing convention. But we also have this august gentleman joining us. Now, you might know the handle who knocks around in the chat sometimes, Slycanthrope, but here we'll refer to him by his name, Jason Pennet. Jason, welcome.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, good to see you here. So the gang's all here. Jason, you've got a module that's kickstarting. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But Heidi and Erik, tell us about EGGCON. Tell us all about that.
Okay, well, just a couple of months ago, we were talking about the fact that my dad's birthday is in July coming up, and we don't have any convention here in the area in July. We thought over his birthday weekend would be really good. And Erik was like, we should do it. I'm like, it's July, it's high season here, and we've got so little time, but we decided to run with it. We in the next couple of days, we contacted some venues and threw it together, and it's coming together beautifully. It's a ton of work, but I think it's going to be really awesome. We've got excellent special guests. We have special events. We sold out. And we have so much interest. We're already planning for EGGCON 2 in 2025. But for this one, I mean, we have so many great special events. We've got Frank Menser. We've got Pat Kilbane with the Dreams in Gary's Basement. We've got Harold Johnson, Steve Sullivan, Chris Arneson, Christopher Clark, Penny Williams. I'm going to be
Heidi Gygax.
Dave Conant, Tom Wam. Yeah, so we've got, and if I've missed somebody here,
we've forgotten.
I know we did. Look on the website and see, but we have really great listing of special guests coming and running games and and hanging out with us. Oh, Ernie Gygax. My brother is going to be doing, his health is good enough, and he's doing much better now that he's going to run a game at his house. He said he'll probably stop by for about an hour or so at the con, but he usually stays close to home. And
he's going to run one event for us. From
one
home.
event. Yeah, he's going to run one event, and then he's going to allow people to come over and visit and get their, on Saturday and Sunday, he'll have some hours, which I'll post, where people can come over and hang out with Ernie. He loves to tell stories of the old days, and he'll sign stuff and probably see if they want to sit down and play a board game or a card game or something if people are there, because that's Ernie.
Well, that's wonderful. That sounds like just a banger of a lineup, and that is so great. I've gotten to meet like maybe a fourth of the folks that you guys have got at the con. Of course, we had Pat Kilbane on the show a few months back. That was a blast. And I met so many of the other folks at conventions and on the internet and that sort of thing. So how about you guys? Are you guys going to be running stuff, or is it just the convention itself as being the king and queen of EGGCON? Is that going to occupy all your time?
Well, we do have a
booth.
You
just called me a queen.
We have a booth that we're going to be running as well, and of course the con, and we have a few, fortunately we have a few volunteers who are helping out. Jason is going to be volunteering as well. He's going to be staff too. He's flying up here, and he's going to be running some games. So we have I think 3 different DMs that are running GAXLAN games for us.
Right.
Excellent.
Jason, and
I'm going to run one.
And
then Shane Bradley.
Shane Bradley and Eric's running one. Yeah, Eric's going to run the one that we're doing exclusively for EGGCON, and then we'll probably build it into a bigger thing. But we're doing one that's going to be printed and handed out in swag and sold. The people that get swag bags, but handed out
right.
And for sale. And that is, we're writing that with Christopher Clark. So.
Which is fun.
Very cool.
So much.
Very cool.
He just throws ideas out there, like, he just shoots. He's like, how are you doing this? Middle of the night, you wake up and it's like, okay, I wrote another 3,000 words. Right. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, that sounds like tons of fun. And that's going to be, kicks off on the 26th of July. So if you're going to be in the Lake Geneva area, guys, don't miss out. This sounds like just an absolute blast. Now, for my audience, I'm going to lord this over you a little bit. I've gotten a game with Heidi in her before. It's a pretty fun experience. If you have the means, I highly recommend. So you're already talking about EGGCON 2.
Mm-hmm. Because we're basically out of space and out of badges for EGGCON 1. So space available during that day, we might let people in, but we pretty much can't add any people into EGGCON 1.
We're going to be down to day badges on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, but EGGCON 2, we're going to have a bigger venue. We're looking at spaces that can hold at least 300, maybe more, and support that. And we're going to go to 4 days because, we like to stress ourselves out. Right. No, but we another thing, just real quickly, while we're talking about this, is we set up the Gary Gygax Memorial Scholarship, and the first scholarship is going to be given out in May of 2025, but we're going to be funding it through the auction that we run at EGGCON. And that's going to be at the American Legion Hall at 2:00 on Saturday. And so we're looking for people, if they have any sort of things that they wouldn't mind donating. There's information on EGGCON and both on the website and on our Facebook page.
That's Thor.
Oh, is that Thor? Sorry, our dog.
The house is moving.
He wants in the door. Okay. And yes, so we have made a commitment to do the scholarship, and we're hoping to make it an annual scholarship. And do you want to tell them about the criteria. We just thought it'd be a really cool thing. It's starting with Badger High School in Lake Geneva.
Okay.
Details
Yeah.
and I'll let
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So students at Badger High School that are on track to graduate, that are participating and passing, and that's
Mhm.
basically the only criteria. They can submit a short story. We want a fantasy fiction, science fiction, creative short story, and then we're going to have a panel of published authors pick a winner, and then based on those two criteria, that they're on track to graduate and that they've submitted the winning story, they'll get the scholarship. And we're working out how to make it an annual thing. We'd like to set it up, which setting up a nonprofit that falls under a 501c3 is a little bit of work. So we probably won't have all of that done this year, but we're still going to award the scholarship for 2025 based on this year's submissions. And with the response has been tremendous. It turns out there's not one. With the various cons and things that are going on, there's not a scholarship. There used to be one that was supported through
just TSR used to do different scholarships, but it wasn't. That this is
I think it was RPGA ran it.
Yeah, this is the first one that's done, like in my dad's honor kind of thing.
So we're really excited about it, and response has been really good. So we're going to be doing the auction on Saturday, and all of the proceeds from the auction will go towards the scholarship. And we've already we did a limited con release. We did a GaryCon exclusive module. We had some copies left over, so we were selling those. So we've already put some money into the fund, and it's really exciting.
We put out for some sponsors. We've had a couple people contact us that they're interested in sponsoring. So we're for the scholarship fund, and then just if we have con sponsors, which is a different level, but we're going to put banners up, at EGGCON with their name and company logo, and put their name in our little EGGCON passport that we're doing. So there's going to be a lot of fun activities. Lake Geneva in the summer has a lot of really cool things to do. We're going to make an egg hunt where what we call an egg hunt, complete a quest to get like a some EGGCON swag type of things, and just to go see some different things in town and get your passport stamped. That we're going to be giving one of our stamps to different businesses that either have gaming related, memorabilia and things like the exhibit at the museum. There's the Appendix N at the Lake Geneva Public Library, seeing different things, and then some places that were Lake Geneva Games, of course, and a couple places that were favorite spots of my dad's or are good places in town to go. And they don't have to go to all of them to get their things. It's just going to be like, visit this many different places on the list. And then they get to keep that passport as memorabilia, and it'll have a place for, if they meet some people and they want them to sign that.
Autographs, and they'll get their stamps and their memories. And
Yep.
And we're really trying with the passport, one, to just sort of have this guide of Lake Geneva so that people who come to the con can see, sites that are important historically. But we're also reminding, by sending con goers to these various spots, Lake Geneva, that the memory of Gary is still alive and well, and that Dungeons and Dragons was created at 330 Center Street, and that there's this important history.
And there will be games run there as well.
Yeah, that's really exciting too. We've been so lucky, considering 3 months ago this was, hey, we should do this.
So we have
We don't have enough to do.
3 different special events running at 330 Center Street, the birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons. Paul Stormberg will be running 2 D&D games there.
That's the one.
What?
And
Special guest Paul Stormberg.
Special guest Paul Stormberg and special guest Michael Menard.
Right.
And Michael will be running Chainmail
On the sand table in
and
the
the sand
basement.
table in the basement. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes.
That is really, really cool.
And you're missing it, Bill. I told you to come up here.
If I start walking now, I should be able to make it there by EGGCON 2.
Cool.
I figured I'd have to winter in Gatlinburg or something, but with some good trail work, I should be there by July 2025. No, this sounds wonderful. This sounds absolutely great. And I have to ask, with this being the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, and of course it's your dad's birthday, have you gotten any outreach from, say, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, anybody like that? Even good luck, or can we help, or anything like that?
They probably are completely unaware of it, would be my guess. When we first were looking at it, I had running it, I reached out to my brother Luke, who has more of those contacts, and let him know what I was thinking about doing, but his schedule is just overbooked, and so he just said, nope, can't do it. Sounds like a great idea, good luck, so we decided to move on.
And he has some of those contacts.
Yeah.
But he really is just busy.
He is, yeah.
I can imagine.
So
I can imagine. Well, fortunately, you have. It sounds like you've got a great field of people ready and willing to help. And to my audience, and to you guys, I don't always go to Lake Geneva when it's cold and miserable, but I have been up there in the spring and summer. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. It's like just. It's warm but not humid. So yeah, if you're going to be in the area, avail yourself. But of course, all the times that me and the missus have ever been up there, it's just been doing convention stuff. But it sounds to me like you guys have blended this sort of get yourself around Lake Geneva in addition to the con. Don't just come and sit in a room and play D&D for 3 days and then drive to Milwaukee and fly home. It really sounds like you guys have got a good vibe going with seeing the historic places, and all the stuff that they've done for Gary, all the memorial things like that. So it sounds like a ton of fun. Now, Jason, I'm going to put you on the spot here. You're helping out at the convention. Are you going to be? We're going to talk a little bit here. I didn't just bring you on to shove you in the corner, I promise. But we're gonna talk a little bit about your project stuff that you got coming up here. But what are you going to be running stuff at the con? Are you muscle, keep people in line, make sure there's no disruptions?
If they need me to do that, I guess I can. But yeah, I'll be running Hamoverfest at the con. I believe once or twice at least. But aside from that, yeah, I'm just going to be helping out with whatever needs to be helped with.
Excellent. And so again, we're going to talk about Hamoverfest here in a second, but will you be running the 5th edition or the highly well received, from my sources tell me, conversion to original D&D for that?
I would like to do both.
Excellent. I mean, obviously you're going to want to go where people, with a rule system that people are gonna be most familiar with. I mean, at a con, it's a little, it's a little late in the day to try and teach somebody a brand new rules set. But at least OD&D is fairly lightweight. But yeah, I mean, I think you've got the right mindset there. Run them both. Mm-hmm. So, one thing I meant to ask you guys, and I guess this is probably on the website. I've just been so busy today. T-shirts. Have you guys got swag?
We do. The T-shirts, I didn't close. I was supposed to close down pre-orders after Monday, but I didn't get the order done yet. So I did make pre-orders available for our T-shirts to help us know what to get. They can pre-order them on the website if you're going to be picking up at the con. Then we're going to take everything else that we order in addition to that to the con to sell, and then the leftovers will go up for sale after the con on GAGCON.com.
Right. I wear a 3X, by the way.
We'll get you one. We'll send you one. As
I appreciate that. I
your
appreciate
Ham
that.
Over Fest.
Yeah, it'll be
Yes.
waiting for you somewhere like Montgomery, and you can pick it up on your way walking through.
Yes, exactly. It'll keep me warm during those winter months as I cross over the Appalachians into the plains. But is the design over here? I see we have some photos over here of the venue. Is one of these the design?
The design is actually at the top of the website. The design that's going on the shirt is the dragon and the egg.
Okay.
You don't have the T-shirt on the website.
I don't know. Probably not.
We don't. It was in the Facebook page, and it's on GEGGCON.com.
Yeah, it's on our GEGGCON Facebook store store, but I'm not sure if there's a link here or not. It's
just to go to GEGGCON.com and into the store.
Well, we're going to take a look at the T-shirt right now.
Okay.
How about Jason, do you have merch?
history.
Click on the closed for inventory. We never
That's
change
okay.
it. Go into the regular store where it shows the dice. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go.
is.
There we go.
And
All right.
yeah, the logo artwork this year was from John J. Murakami, and John is in Hawaii and has done some other work for us. Next year's art
It's Chris Arneson.
is Chris Arneson, so we've already got that going. So.
Yeah, so Chris is doing the cover for our con module,
Mhm.
and then we're going to use the art from the con module for EGGCON 2. And then so each year the plan is roughly that we'll do a con module, and then that art will get reused for the next year, just for several reasons. One, so we don't have to commission two, but also because, if it's good enough to put on the con module. And Chris Arneson's going to be excellent. John Murakami threw this together like in 20 minutes. It was so crazy.
Yeah, he's really
when we
good.
reached out and we did a price, and he's just the best guy to deal with. And there's actually on the egg, of course, do you know why we called it egg?
Of
Right.
course.
Yes.
Right. And the egg itself, there are a couple of Easter eggs that John designed for us.
Oh, I'm have to zoom in and check those out. Those of you out there in audience land, you can check out gaxland.com. But I guess folks have to get their orders in pretty quick, right?
Yeah, you can tell them. So the dragon, if you look at it, it's a baby dragon, and its colors match the dragon from the Dragon Magazine #1. And so we sort of had it having an egg, and because for his Gary's birthday, and then we matched it up for Dragon Magazine #1 because Dragon Magazine #1, and so we were really happy with it.
Yeah. So there'll be a different logo for next year.
So if you don't like the color, you can just tell Tim Cass, because he approved it for Dragon Magazine #1, and he will let you know what he thinks of your opinion.
I'm not getting I wouldn't. Tim, if you're catch wind of this, it's wonderful. I love the color scheme.
Right.
Please don't hurt me.
Right.
Let's see. Elvin Maiden says, hello, it's good to see you. Emmy's out in England, so it's late at night, but thank you for staying up and hanging out with us, Emmy. So we got a con module, we've got a t-shirt, we've got your locations and everything. Any tournament games being run? You guys any GMs coming in and running actual tournament stuff, or?
No, we had a request for that, but I just don't think we have the space to support it this year. But we will definitely look into that for 2025.
We would at this point have to bump other GMs, and I definitely want to do it in years to come when we have more room and more organization, because everything we're doing, every single step, it's like, okay, we have to get out the book and figure out how to do this. We got to open badges, so we had to figure out how to make badges.
Yeah, this is
then,
the staff that's
right.
organizing the con.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Oh, we should do an update. Hey, we probably should put a link for the t-shirts on the actual con website. That's so everything we're doing. We're
idea. Maybe you could do that.
Hello.
Yes. Guy McFly. Right.
Yeah, but no, I get it with the tournament thing. And you don't want to be bumping schedules and changing things at the last minute. That creates chaos. I completely understand that.
So at least a portion of the module we're doing was intended to be for a tournament, but and somebody could use it for a tournament if they wanted to, and possibly that could happen
excellent.
at Con too. But honestly, the module is probably going to be, we overwrite everything, and but we're 3 maps in at this point to commission the map for the inside detachable cover, because that's the way you've got to do it. And
well, yeah, I mean,
we've commissioned, it's gorgeous. That's
and you guys are kidding about this earlier, but you've told me before your praxis being like, again, wake up at 3 a.m. I have a great new idea. Let's do this, So I can imagine you've got a ton of material to pour into that.
Yes, it's just if we had all the energy to go with all the time.
right.
But we also have, as you know, a 9 and a 10-year-old, and
Right. And they're
right. Yeah, that's an energy drain unto itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we have a lot of things on our plate, and if we just had the energy to match them all, but we're plugging along, getting things done. So and we're really excited. I think we should at that point segue into the next exciting thing, that's coming up.
This book, my
on
son,
Tuesday. Yes.
My son, what, a year ago, or
your son, he goes, Jason Pennet.
I'm writing this book.
Down
I
there.
want you to read this book. And I was like, and I was actually a little bit hesitant, just because, you don't want to read something from somebody you like, especially when they haven't written anything before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm a great writer, but I mean, you just don't, it's like, oh my God, what if this sucks? This is going to be.
He had an air tone.
But it was good. It was very titty. Nice. No, I'm looking at the camera, not his gestures. You are grounded. And so he sent this book, and I was like, it's full of puns, and there is a little bit of whimsy. There are there's a little, it gets darker, and there's bacon.
Why don't you let Jason talk about it?
Yeah. So anyway, I enjoyed it enough, and then it just sort of developed that we knew how to do a Kickstarter, and so he finished the material and he's kind of handed off. But you have to play the video at some time because there's bacon.
You know what? Send me the video in the private chat. I know you sent it to me earlier on Facebook. That's over on the Edit PC. Send it to me in the private chat, and we'll run the video for the audience. But I can say, full disclosure, audience, I did the back conversion to original D&D for this module, and Erik ain't kidding. It starts off, you're going to be, this is goofy, and by the end of it, you're just going to be like, but in a good way, in a good suspenseful way. It is, and I'm not giving a single word away, so don't ask me. You're going to have to check this one out. So, but anyway, Jason, tell us about Hamoverfest. We've got your Kickstarter. I'm going to put that up on the screen here in just a second. But tell us a little bit about this.
Well, like Dad was saying, it starts off a little bit of a few puns here and there, a little bit whimsical. But really, as I was writing it, I was like, what would be something that I would like to play? And this is what it turned into. And initially, it was just something that I set up for my gaming group. And there are a few little things that sort of encourage role play interactiveness, like the it's probably not giving too much away, the children's play that takes place during the festival.
Right.
As I was reading it to my gaming group, I'm like, wait a minute, this would probably be better if I had them read it. And so they all, I just impromptu printed out the script, and they all acted the play out, and they just loved it. A room full of adults just impersonating like little 5 and 6-year-old kids doing this play at a fair. And they loved it. And then, the module proceeds, and everybody went from smiling to just the completely white face, just the blood running out of everyone's face as I'm saying roll for initiative. And I was scared to hand this off to them, actually. I know Dad is being a little funny with you're always afraid to read something that someone you like wrote, but
No.
it's scary to hand something off that you wrote to somebody that you like. It works both ways.
Oh no. I understand. I mean, I do a short module for our patrons monthly here on the channel, and I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from, man. And it can be just pins and needles. But I got to say, again, having been the guy who went through and did the OD&D conversion, taking a step back, I mean, at first, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is kind of twee, but whatever, And the deeper I got into it, I was like, holy crap. Okay, all right, this is a little more intense than I had bargained for, because I got to read it. I can't just go through and find stat blocks and convert it, right? So I've seen it. I've actually spoiled it a little bit for myself. But so you're kickstarting this, and I'm gonna put the page up here. This launches in when do we launch this Kickstarter, Jason?
21st, I believe.
Tuesday,
the 21st. So that is, guys, that's literally just a few days away. Bookmark this. Click the notify me on launch when this goes, because I'm telling you, okay, I've been up to my wrists in this thing. Certainly not as much as Jason, and certainly not as much as his gaming group. You want this. You absolutely, positively want this. This is good stuff. So let's, let's see here, because Erik was kind enough to send me that link. I'm going to see if this Facebook link, because I'm never logged into Facebook over here on the studio PC. But let's see if this will come up here. Let me close it. Yes. Okay. Now audio. Love the wild quote at the end, man. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. So that, folks, I got to tell you, that quote don't tell you the half of it. It is a shockingly fun adventure module, and I got to say, no kidding. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to work on it and do the back conversion to original D&D. I just hope I did it justice in converting it back.
You did great.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Well, thank you very much. So
I think another good point, I'm sorry to interrupt. Another,
No, go ahead.
How dare you?
another good point is that it is complete. So we are just waiting for a few things like some custom dice that are going to go in a certain pack and that sort of thing. So this will be delivered in August, probably the first half of August, when we're going to be starting to assemble things in July, but we're definitely in August delivery because all of the writing's done, the editing's done, the conversion's done,
The art's done.
the art is
The
done.
layout is 99% done.
Yeah.
There's a few little things that might get tweaked.
Mhm.
So it's really ready to go. Actually, the biggest holdup we have is we just ordered dice from Chessex. So
Mhm.
one of the tiers, you can order piggy dice
Mhm.
and you get a set of 10 dice.
Well, it's in one of the packages, so yeah.
One of the tiers is
Along
Yeah.
with your festival coins.
yeah, there's festival coins and full size maps
Mhm.
printed
That
1
will
inch
be-
for 5 feet.
That will be shipped flat,
Right.
not
That's-
folded,
Right. Not rolled.
not
Excellent.
rolled, not folded.
And
Yeah. So
I think the dice are 10 dice sets.
yes,
They'll
it's
come
going to
with
be
4d6 for character creation for those
4
weak,
custom D6.
weak
and then-
people who need 4 dice.
So, question for you, Jason: Is this the beginning of a series, or is this a standalone module, or have you given thought to it?
I haven't really thought about it, and you're not the first person to ask me that. My playtesting group really wanted to know what happened next, so I might.
Oh,
Well, I hope it is. That's just me. Because you've got a great bit of world building there, and I mean, if nothing else, seeing that expand out a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for a well-developed village, a larger world setting. So that would definitely be something that I would like to see. Death Angels. The link is actually there's a link to the Kickstarter. The page, the Kickstarter launches Tuesday, so it's the Kickstarter launch page. But if you go down there and you click on the button, you can get the update as to when it launches. Let me see if I might actually be able to glean this and repost it. I had it earlier. Oh, here we go. I can get this. Yeah, here we go. So can you tell us a little bit about the tiers and the stretch goals, Jason?
Yeah, let me get that pulled back up. If it will let me.
I've got the Kickstarter link there in the chat for those of you who want to click that and follow along. It is right there. So I was teasing Erik earlier, Heidi. I was telling him, you guys messed up. You see, I put an impossible barrier in front of deciding to do a convention. I said, when I get 10,000 subscribers on my channel, I'll have a real life convention, and that's never going to happen. So I don't have to worry about it.
You might get there.
I don't think so.
Thor is being exceptionally needy, so Heidi had to go out. Thor is a 120 pounds of half meth lab, half Great Pyrenees, and when Thor wants attention, you have to give him attention.
So yeah, I mean that's as big as both of your daughters. So
put together, yeah.
Pretty
Pretty
close.
Anyway, so Jason, goals, stretch goals, that sort of thing, swag. What can we expect, my friend?
So as far as tiers go, the first tier is just a PDF, and of course any of the digital stretch rewards, which we're still playing around with those a little bit. The next tier, you get a physical printed copy, PDF, and of course all of the stretch rewards. The next tier, physical copy, PDF, all of the stretch rewards, of course. There's the pack of maps, so all 5 maps. The custom pig dice, which look amazing. I'm really excited about those. And then 4 wooden festival coins. A friend of mine who does woodworking actually made quite a few of these.
Neat.
Yeah, they should be. I think they're fairly easy to see in the Kickstarter picture.
They can't see them.
They can't see them? Okay.
Not until it goes live.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, if you have them there.
Yeah,
we have some. Yeah.
Yeah, the Kickstarter.
And what are these made of? They're.
I believe you're the one who came up with the pun, so you should say it.
I don't know
You can't see it with the light. I don't think it'll show it. It's
Well,
just
it's pretty blown out.
yeah, it's blown out. I don't know how to do it.
Hey, Anita Coffee, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the super. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Anita Coffee. So anyway, the coins.
Yeah, the coins. They're very cool. They're
Thank you, Anita Coffee.
that's they have a little piggy. You could use them as a D2, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very nice. And there's something to add on. I don't know.
It's like
This
the festival coin is something that characters can earn during the game also that give them some different, I don't want to give things away, but
Right,
so,
right. I know what the coins are for. I've seen the manuscripts. So.
Right. So, well, but not everybody has. So if you have these physically, it's easy to remember who has what, and otherwise you'll have to use some other sort of marker, I would suppose, or, the GM can just take a note. But yeah.
So I have to ask you a question though, Jason. Do you know how to make original Dungeons and Dragons characters? I'm just curious. I'm asking for do you yourself know how to make original D&D characters?
He was only born in.
A funny thing happened just before GaryCon. The guy I know, good guy, solid guy, he calls me in a panic over making original D&D characters, and he was of course I was glad to help out when I could, because that's what I do even if I can't be there. But I was just wondering if you knew how to do it.
Probably not as well as I should,
but you at least have a basic apprehension of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering. I was just curious about that.
That was
did you want to say something, man?
And Freudian slippers.
And that's why they never came on my show again, folks.
Yes. So mea culpa. It wasn't a matter of not knowing how to.
I know. I'm teasing you, dude.
I'm the guy, the nice guy he just threw under the bus, and all 14 wheels hit me. Lee
rolled you under the bus.
I just certainly had a certain amount of time left, and he goes, "Is there anything I can do to help?" And I was like, "Sure. Could you make?" And he did. He did beautiful, brilliant character sheets, and then he sent me a Forrest Gump T-shirt. I was like, "What?" Yes. So.
Did not. If anything, I would have sent you a Delver's Dungeon T-shirt, which I still need to do. Shame on me, but no, I'm just teasing. I was more than happy to help. But speaking of D&D, tell me a little bit about because I ask everybody. This is like the boilerplate question I have to ask. Tell me a little bit about getting started gaming, Jason. What was your first D&D?
So my first D&D was actually, I want to say it was on Windows 95, and Dad had a compilation CD-ROM of a lot of different older RPGs. So I was playing things like Bard's Tale, Eye of the Beholder. I was playing those, and then Dad ended up getting a lot of second edition books, and I would sit there and I would
you say,
yeah,
go on.
And I would thumb through them, and I would ask questions, and And Dad would just tell me stories, and I would come up and I'd be like, okay, so hold on, wait, how does backstab work? Like, what's backstab times 4? Like, what does this mean? And I mean, I was getting all the information from him. And then at about the age of 12 or 13, 3rd edition was released.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and bought the player's handbook, and I ran up to Dad and I'm like, hey, check this out. I can play this now. And I did. I started playing with some friends, and I think just a year later, Dad took me to my first convention. So,
which was
that ChaosCon?
It was
ChaosCon, yeah.
Do you remember there were Catholic schoolgirls everywhere at the hotel that we were
That
staying
were
at?
not part of the con.
They were not part of the con, no. But at the hotel, there were all these Catholic schoolgirls.
How old was Jason?
You know what? I don't remember this at all. I was so focused on the D&D.
Oh, yeah.
You, yeah.
of course, yeah, no attention paid to that whatsoever.
I need to go get some ice. We did,
I'm going to the soda machine, Dad.
we were at the
The 7th time.
yeah. But no, there were nuns and schoolgirls in this hotel, and
You're
then, of
going to
course,
tell him the nun joke.
well,
The
oh,
story.
God.
Be
Do you
careful.
remember-
It's non sequitur.
Do you remember the phone rang? We were back. The con was over for the evening. I think the first night it stopped kind of early. It was on the college campus, and so we'd gone back to the hotel. And the phone rang. We were, doing stuff, getting ready for bed, whatever. And this girl's voice asked for Sister. I can't even remember. Say Sister Margaret, whatever. But I don't remember. And what immediately popped in my head is this was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I said, I'll have to have her call you back. She's in the shower. And so the person on the other end of the phone hung up. So I was like, yeah, I'm going straight to hell. But
There's Jason. What's funny, Dad?
that was, yeah, that was a long time ago. And ChaosCon was a lot of fun. It was in Tennessee and Clarksville.
Mhm.
And it's one of these cons that just didn't have enough volunteers. And it finally it collapsed the people who were running it. That it was, they just sort of ran out of energy at one point. But it was a good con, and it was a good first con to go to.
They just withered away.
Well, yeah, I think they moved away and did other things.
I
But
can see that happening.
but it was a very well done con. I'm glad we went to it. And then after that, I think we went to Huntsville, Alabama to
Constellation.
Mm-hmm. And also a con that no longer happens. It was the North Alabama Science Fiction Association, and their members had been members for all 50 plus years.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
And they ran out of energy. So they're
Uh-oh. Hey.
It goes to conventions and they die.
Uh-oh. Maybe Jason should not come. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
yeah.
We need you.
But this is back before tabletop events. This is back before social media had gone crazy and the ability to coordinate and bring volunteers and qualify. But yeah, no, those were good. Those are good memories. I'm glad we did all that.
So you went to a con early, started with 3rd edition, but you've gotten better. You feel better now, and you're playing proper edition D&D, right?
Yeah, and the consistent gaming group that I'm with, we're sort of all over the place. There was a brief period we were playing Fate. We jumped over and played in Cortex, so from Margaret Weiss games. We've done things in 2nd edition. I don't know if it's a bad word, but we did stuff in Pathfinder for a little while. And now most of what we do is in 5th edition, but that's typically just because it's what most people are familiar with when they come in. So,
well, I tell you, and I've said this to Heidi and Erik before in the audience before, Jason, look, I personally, I love all versions of D&D for various reasons. I love original D&D, basic, first edition, advanced. I've played some second edition. There's some things about 2E that aren't terrible. 3, 3.5, and 5th edition. I've played all editions of D&D, and they're all good. So, it's all good, man. It's all good. You wrote Hamoverfest, which sounds so much like Hammerfest that I'm almost tempted to say your next module should be set in a heavy metal concert. But who am I? Who am I to lean on? Hamoverfest, H1 Hamoverfest, H2 Hammerfest. I'm just saying it's something you could do. You could make that work. But I do have a question, because this is something, I am an inveterate lover of printed materials in my hand. Once the Kickstarter is done, obviously, you've got a tier of Kickstarter for physical printed copies of your module. But once that's done, will you still offer a print option, or will you just go to pod, or just strictly digital?
Yes.
Should I answer?
Yeah.
We want as many people that are interested in this to get it. So we are starting the digital copy at a fairly low price. Yes, Connect. That is a GaryCon hat.
That's a GaryCon toque. There you go.
Yep. So the digital is only going to be $10, a $10 pledge. And again, this is already done, so there's really no risk at doing this at all. The physical, we're going to do an early bird the first week that it's live. It's actually technically 8 days that it's live. You can get it for $20. The physical copy. And you will also get the digital. Right. And then it goes to $25. And then there are other tiers. There are other tiers. We're still working on the price for the pack with all the extra goodies. And then we'll probably do some add-ons with some other GAXA stuff.
Okay.
We're talking about that.
There's some last minute. We might be adding a couple of pages where Jason's working on a character sheet that we can, a custom character sheet that can go in the back of the book. And
awesome.
Possibly doing some kind of a tier where people can get their name in the book for being supporters. And
the character sheet, is it bacon scented? I'm just curious, because it would be.
I'm sure after you have it, it will be.
Right. Yeah.
Just
suggesting that I don't miss a meal, because you're correct.
Yeah.
Bacon and bourbon. It's
There you go. That's the way to go. A question from Ken Robeson, and I think this is directed at Jason, but if Heidi, you or Eric wants to jump in and answer this also. What is your favorite non-D&D TTRPG when you're ready to break to another genre?
You guys want to go first?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Yes.
No.
I don't either, Eric, but
Castles
and D&D, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's pop and clicks.
Isn't that the same genre?
What's not D&D? It's Castles and Crusades.
But he says another genre.
I think broadly, if I could put some words in Ken's mouth, is your favorite non-D&D fantasy RPG. So let's set fantasy aside. So no going, it's Castles and Crusades, because that's like really,
Forrest Gump. Top Secret, Traveler, Gamma World. These are all things I haven't played for years. It's just not. Honestly, probably D20 Modern. I really liked D20 Modern and Pulp. There were several Pulp versions of that. It was crunchy and I liked it. Stuff set in the 1930s and, Japan gearing up for war and the war machine in Europe grinding, and you're still fighting the Kaiser's robots, in London. Wait, that didn't happen, but yeah, I like that's mine. I do.
Yeah.
I have not played. I don't think I've played other genres of TTRPGs. No, I've been around them when they're being played. You know, Jim Ward was over at our house all the time, but I don't think I ever played. The only time I played with Jim was when he was running CNC. So,
And you survived. It's rare.
And how about yourself, Jason?
Probably Tales from the Floating Vagabond. Just because it's so ridiculous. Character tropes like the Roy Rogers effect, like you can't hurt anything, but you never miss your shot. Or the trench coat trope. It's, you know, even if you're stripped naked and thrown in a prison cell, you somehow still have your trench coat, and it has everything you've ever owned in a pocket somewhere.
I think if all you have is a trench coat, you're going to get thrown into jail cell. But
well, I mean, that's true. No, and I mean, even just some of the small things, like there are no hit points, there are oops points.
oops points.
Yeah, it's oops. But yeah, Tales from the Floating Vagabond is probably my favorite non-fantasy.
I have not played that, but that sounds absolutely fascinating. I have heard the title, and that is about all I can say. But now you got me wanting to look at it. To answer Ken Robeson, myself, when it comes to post-apocalyptic stuff, I would say Twilight 2000. But good Lord, you have got to want to fight a tank battle in the middle of World War III Europe, and you have got to be dedicated to the desire to do that, because it is not. It's about as difficult as learning to operate a tank and fire its main gun as it is to play Twilight 2000. But when it works, with the right group of people, it's really good. But well, there you go, Ken. I hope that accurately answers your question, or adequately answers your question at any rate. So regardless, Jason, of whether or not the next module is a continuation, well, I say that assuming, but will there be a next module, or are you kind of in wait and see?
There will be.
There will be.
He calls, and he's got these ideas. He's got the map from the Dundle, what we did with Tomb of the Dundle Chief.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the map of the Dundle, and he's,
Don't,
there's this place.
Don't speak for your son. Let him answer the question.
No, he's going to do it. We're going to have to read it.
Well, Jason, I think that answers my question. Thank you. Your voice got strangely pitched there for a second. But
yeah, no, it happens as I get older.
But seriously, are you considering further projects after this?
Oh yeah, I already have a few more in the oven.
Excellent. When do you expect to publish those, and why will you be publishing them for first edition AD&D? I have a bias. I'm not shy about that.
Well, I would like to do the next one as soon as I can, and yeah, absolutely, I would love to throw the conversion for OE in there.
And AD&D.
I mean AD&D.
I know a guy. Just let me know. I know a guy.
I've even had some people tell me that I should do some conversions for CNC as well. So,
well, there you go, man. Cover all the bases. Why not, right? Now I know you kind of came. How long has this idea of publishing something been percolating for you? How long has this kind of been in your mind's eye to get published?
It's actually been it's a very recent thing for me, because over the years as I've played, I've seen modules in stores, but it always just seemed like it's like, well, I have the books, I should be able to run a game, I should be able to do this on my own, and really just in the past 10 years or so, it stopped being a novel idea, and it was more like, it's like, well, I want to run a game, but I have work, I have kids, I only have about 10 minutes to sit down and prepare something, and oh wait, there's there's something over here that someone has done this. They've built the adventure, and I can use this, and this is perfect. But in terms of me getting something published, really just the past couple of years, especially since you don't have to go through a big mainstream company because of things like Kickstarter. You just put forth the effort and show initiative, and you can do it yourself, and not have to necessarily compete with big companies that have their own goals or agendas. So.
Right on. And, it is a good time to be coming into the field now. I'm not sure if you were really kind of up on the latest sports headlines, as it were, with Wizards of the Coast deciding, hey, we're just going to delete on the old open gaming license, but don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Maybe it won't. We don't know. We're not telling anybody thing that, there's so many small creators that were poised to go into the next year with like, hey, we're going to release stuff and it's going to be great. And then here's Wizards of the Coast saying, we might hit you with this hammer.
Right.
We might not. We haven't decided yet. So it put a lot of small creators on hold, but that at least somewhat appears to be a lessened threat, as it were. So you haven't experienced any like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of legal stuff that could go on yourself, have you?
He's leaning on us.
Well, yes,
and that's fair. Really, that's absolutely fair.
Really, nothing that hasn't been self-imposed. Like, I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning several nights in a row with the 5th edition SRD open, just double checking every little thing, making sure that I wasn't stepping on any toes.
Sure.
Because that is his personality. Because do you want to tell people what you do for your day job?
Oh, yeah, I'm a
sausage.
No,
bacon.
He makes bacon. Wait a minute, no.
No, I'm a data conversion / data migration specialist. So SQL developer.
Yes.
So yeah, I move large data sets from here over to here, and I have to make sure everything is perfect. So my job has made me a little paranoid.
Little bit
so
of
I'm guessing you have 3 drafts of your module, one on goldenrod, one on pink, and one on green carbon paper, and then a microfiche copy sent to an offsite, right?
I believe I have 11 versions over 3 different devices, but not all in different colors.
Okay. Yeah, once upon a time in a previous life, I worked for an electronic funds transactor in the early 90s. And yeah, data migration and data conversion meetings were the bane of my existence.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been, like, file this one in goldenrod, this one in white, this one in pink, this one in green.
Yeah.
And then get the microfiche copy that goes to Iron Mountain. Every week, I could repeat that sequence in my sleep. Skittles says, hi, Jason. It's Spencer. Super proud of you. Well, I don't want to brag, Skittles, but he is on the preeminent 1st edition D&D live stream show that airs 5 nights a week on YouTube. So, yeah, you should be proud of the lofty goals he's gotten here. I'm guessing a lot of your gaming group is in the audience.
There's a few in there, yeah. Both Spencer and In Need of Coffee were playtesters.
So, by the way, Skittles, I just want to point out that In Need of Coffee did super. So, everybody's doing it. I'm just saying.
And then was it Vaughn? Vaughn asked about Ernie. He probably at the beginning. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a quick update. Ernie is doing so well right now. I mean, still got a lot of things that he's dealing with, his health issues, but he is working very hard to stay with us, and he's got a great attitude. We were just there last night, visiting with him, and he is going to be a special guest at EGGCON and doing gaming and some things from his home. And he said he'll probably come over to the con site for about an hour, which is good because he, doesn't do a lot of away from home because of his health issues, but he is looking good. He's like down about 100 pounds and he's working really hard to be healthy. Yep.
That is wonderful. That is great news. And thank you for asking again, Vaughn, because I know Heidi had mentioned that at the beginning of the stream, and anyone who's come in, because we've had a few more people wander in off the streets since it started. So thank you for the update, Heidi. We do appreciate that. So Jason, important question here. Miniatures, no miniatures?
As of right now, I am unaware of any plan for miniatures.
Oh, no, I just meant at your table. Are you a miniatures?
At my table. Miniatures? Yeah. Gotcha. Whew. Felt like I was being put on the spot there too.
No.
It just depends on the group. If my group is a little more story driven, I'll veer over to Theater of the Mind. If they really like combat, I'll bring out miniatures, especially if I'm running in something like Pathfinder or 5th edition, where mechanically having miniatures just makes sense.
Right on. I mean, there are games where it works. I've got a ton of Dwarven Forge and minis myself here, but there's just stuff like, I mean, Call of Cthulhu, why miniatures? It's like, okay, let me put down a well-painted miniature of a great old one. Well, what is a well-painted miniature of a great old one, right? Heidi and Erik are already on the hook for miniatures. Don't worry about it, Jason. You haven't been dragged into that yet. Because you guys did that scorpion miniature for Dundle Chief. It was so wonderful that I never got one of. Damn it.
Really?
Oh, well, we'll fix that.
It'll be waiting for you in Montgomery with the t-shirt.
Excellent. Thank you. The Pony Express guy will bring that down through the.
If it comes in parts, it's not broken. Right. We did get that question.
I understand.
And it was a good question. He didn't know. He said, I think all the legs are broken. I said, no, you got
hello, Miss Bella Games. But Ken says that's a full table, starts Friday night and then Saturday morning. I'm not sure. Let's see. I wasn't sure what that was in reference to there, Ken. But anyhow, so we're getting another module, maybe no miniatures. Is your next one going to be fantasy also? Or are you branching out genre-wise, Jason? Or
the one that I'm working on most heavily right now, it's fantasy. I do like writing closer to the horror genre. So another one that I'm kind of dabbling with right now falls in line with that. So,
well, you're definitely going to want to be here then. First week of June, we have Sandy Peterson on the show. Sandy Call of Cthulhu Peterson will be in the house first week of June, and I'm excited about that. So you little shameless plug there. But if you like the horror genre, can't go wrong with that. Is Call of Cthulhu your go-to for horror, or do you kind of bend a different game set to fit that? There's no right answer here, so there's no wrong answer here. I'm sorry, there's no wrong answer.
I like psychological horror. The things that really it doesn't even have to be anything grotesque or too profound, just something that gets stuck there. And it's, a couple of days after you watch the movie or read the book, your brain goes back to it and you're like, just for a minute or two, and then you carry on.
Just don't put any spiders in it.
Okay, so put spiders.
Fill it with spiders. Just spiders. Just you open the chest. It's spiders. I pick the lock on the door. The door is made of spiders.
No, we sat down to have lunch the other day and just
Oh
like,
my
we're
gosh.
working really hard. We're going to relax. And we moved, some pillows, getting the kids are at school, moved some pillows over, and I'm making my little nest on the lounge section, the chaise section of the couch. And all of a sudden this big thing, like, I lived in Hawaii for 30 years. So I thought like a cockroach had jumped out, but we don't have cockroaches here.
Yeah.
And it was a huge freaking spider.
Yeah.
And I screeched, and he was in the other room, and I was, ah! And he was like, oh
I
my
thought
God.
she was being murdered with an axe. I mean, there's the noise. And so when I got into the room, I moved quickly.
Anyway.
And I saw it, and honestly, this thing was puff applicable. It was the biggest freaking spider I've seen this far north. And
Okay.
it
I
ran
told this story
under
before.
the bed. I told her, or I ran under the couch. I told her I got it, but I didn't. As far as I know, it's under there, still hiding from the
Done that too. Yeah. I've told the story before to the audience, but I got it. So once upon a time, this office used to be just like the people that lived here before us had this as just like a storage space, workout room, that sort of thing. And then there's this wall behind me, and then a proper garage is further in that direction. So I was out here moving yard equipment around, and I look under the mower. I something kept catching my eye just under the edge of the mower, and I'm like, what is flashing red and green at me? So I pick up the edge of the mower, and there's a wolf spider about this big around.
Oh my God. That's like a wolf, like a cane spider in Hawaii.
Yeah. I jump back and grab a shovel, and I brain this spider with it. And he's bunched up. And so I'm going to scoop him up with a shovel. And then he just sticks his legs out and starts running at me. And I ran into the house and shut the door. And I said, Colleen, we have a roommate. The garage belongs to him now. He lives out there.
Spiders are no joke.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I have a very generous arrangement with the spiders. Stay in the walls and in the ceiling, and don't be seen. Eat the bugs, eat the cockroaches, eat the flies.
You're the bug guy.
Don't show yourselves. If I see you, you're dead.
There's only one person in this house that will.
So he's coming along.
Okay, yeah. Everybody tried to go in the shower, but I can't shower.
Oh yeah.
There's a bug in there. Papa.
I kill lots of bugs.
Anyway.
I feel bad.
Spiders are horrors to me, but yes.
Yeah. I have some Reaper miniature spiders, metal spiders that are actually about the size of a medium-sized wolf spider, and I painted them up based on my experience of having seen wolf spiders around the house. And Colleen informed me that I was never to put them on the table ever while she was playing D&D with us. And I never have, and my marriage has survived the 20-some years since I bought those miniatures. I'm not stupid.
You teased me a little bit about the screams.
No, you were. I mean, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I think the lesson here, Jason, is put lots of spiders in your modules. Just S1 spiders. Just everything. All right, we open the door. There's spiders. We shut the door. We go to the next room. We're 30 feet down the hall. There's a room on the northeastern wall. Okay, we open it. Spiders.
There is a fear thing when something is real. I remember I was never bothered, when I was a small kid and young. Monster movies didn't bother me because then, I knew the monsters weren't real. First off, I'm old and special effects sucked, but I also, I just knew they weren't real. And, but then there was sort of a silly, I think it was Jeff Daniels' Arachnophobia. And it was just basically, a really, really nasty spider that was breeding and having other really nasty spiders. It's truly terrifying. It was, and I don't
Spiders.
I'm not afraid of spiders.
Over spiders.
But when you take something that's real and really out there and you put it right up in somebody's face.
Okay, let's change the subject.
Right. Yeah, the girls wouldn't even, if they knew that the spider would run under the couch and I didn't get it, they would not be in the house.
Well, it's funny. We've talked about this before on the show, and there's my daughter's cat making a rare appearance. But we've talked about this before on the show. Heidi, your dad was a huge fan of Asia and Asian culture, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Egyptian culture as well. He liked all kinds of, yes.
Right. Not a lot of people realize this, but they're Loth and the spider demigoddess and stuff like that. That's all very into Asian myths and cultures. The temple spirits had spider forms in Asian mythology, and I think Loth and the other spider nasties from earlier D&D that your dad dreamed up. I don't wonder that they came from that they came from that Asian vibe that he liked to put in stuff. So
he would study historical myth and lore and fantasy and borrow from all of it and reimagine it. That was
yeah. What's your favorite fantasy stuff to draw from when you're designing, Jason?
Oh geez.
Cheese.
A little bit. Well, no. A little bit of everything.
Cheese, I love it.
A little bit of everything. I'm kind of an omni geek, I guess. My typical TV rotation throughout the week. Like I'll watch an episode of Doctor Who as they come out, and then I jump over to watch like an episode of, Dad and Heidi just got me onto Evil. So I'll watch an episode of Evil, and then I'll go through and pull out a movie, which I think the last one I watched was Beastmaster. I went back and watched it again. Sometimes I'll go and pick up a graphic novel. It's not really any one source. And really with my taste, I just jump back and forth so much. So really I'll get an idea and then I just brainstorm out from it, and really just whatever seems fun and whatever my group reacts to positively is what I end up going with.
Right on. Ken wants to know, what is this Evil you speak of?
A Netflix series. It's really pretty interesting so far.
It's like X-Files meets The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's well done.
You're not quite sure at any point if there is big scary stuff or if there's not big scary stuff. It's written so well.
12, and
12 Monkeys. The whole thing with 12 Monkeys is is this really happening? Is this not?
Is this
really happening?
Is this real or is this like somebody's?
But I think we got to goat curry, and I have decided that demons are real.
Spoilers.
Oh, no, you'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get there. I don't think that spoils it too much.
No, that's.
I was going to say I had some Szechuan beef I homemade the other day, and that convinced me the devil was real. So,
That's a few other people too. That's.
I think that's probably. I'm thinking of something different. Probably.
Yeah, no spoilers here, but.
Yeah. Well, this looks fascinating. I just pulled up the page for it. It looks fascinating. I'm gonna have to check that out. So you kind of build up your own appendix. And what about the classic stuff? Conan, John Carter of Mars, that sort of thing. Have you dipped your toes in that?
So a lot of my exposure to that actually comes from stuff that Dad would read me when I was younger. So I think the first big, I say big, like I think there's 5 books. Pride and Chronicles, that's 5 books, right? So he read me the Pride and Chronicles, stuff. And then he got me into the Xanth novels, so Piers Anthony, and then the Myth series, Robert Aspirin.
Good stuff, fun stuff, yeah.
Brief foray over into horse racing based mystery novels, but most of it was Most of it was fantasy and sci-fi.
Right on. And for anyone who's wondering, who knows, I live in Florida. Yeah, we get it. Xanthus, Florida. Okay, it's whatever.
What?
Weird stuff happens in Florida. I know, shocking, right? Well, it definitely sounds like you started off on the right track there, Erik and Jason, with the Chronicles of Prydain. So I think the important question to ask, though, is now that you're kind of part of the family, you're getting your classic D&D education, right?
Yes, very much so.
Good. And you know how to roll up an OD&D character, which is important. It's very critical. I see you get something in your eye there, Erik. I notice you touching your face a lot. So I am super excited about this module, Jason, and I don't say that just for having gotten a sneak peek digging into it a little bit, but I'm excited about. I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there. And I know what I was going to ask. I'm doing my Columbo impression. One more question, Mr. Pennet. Are you going to do a con release of the module? Will you have anything at the con for the module, or is it strictly the Kickstarter that the module is for?
That's a good question for my publisher.
Right. We need to talk about that. We had a conversation today and brought up a couple of things. I mean, the meat of the module is written and the art's done, but there's still room, and we should have them. We should have them in hand.
We're planning on you doing some signing while you're up here.
Yes.
So we can do the signed and possibly signed and numbered.
Right.
Perfect.
And
well, there you go. Question answered. Well, I have been kind of running my mouth and stepping all over my lovely guests tonight. Is there anything that we didn't cover? Anything that you guys want to touch on? Any stuff to announce? Anything that's coming on or coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, I would like to bring up a UK Game Expo that's in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
And normally, that has nothing to do with most of us, because how many of us are going to the UK for the Game Expo? But what's exciting is we have a distributor that just approached us and wants to distribute Gaxland products. So we sent some over there, and it will be at the
UK Game Expo.
Yep. So we're going to have representation there.
That is wonderful. That is absolutely awesome. Let me see here if StreamYard will let me. That's not the right button. I don't want to invite them. I want to present them. Let's see here.
And in addition to that, this distributor is, we're working with them about doing some distribution of our Kickstarter products in the future, and which will help reduce shipping costs.
Yeah.
So having a UK-based distributor. Did I bring my phone in here?
I don't know.
I don't know if I did, because I was going to say what the booth name is under, and I did not. Oh, sorry. But I'll post that. It's Britain. It's not GMS, but they have two different booths. But anyway, it's in Hall 1.
This is the right website. I didn't just grab some random.
You're at the right place. But
yes, that's the right place. It's a huge
one
thing.
of the biggest in the world. And
yes. So
having our stuff there is great.
Yes. So just to get a little bit more exposure, and
they have a partner here in the U.S. They do last mile logistics. So basically, we will fulfill if we have backers from UK, EU.
Pretty much the European Union or the United Kingdom. For any of our Gaxland products, we
get it to them.
We'll get it to them.
They'll bulk ship it to England at a
a
better price for the backers. So.
Right. So our shipping will be better. So we're actually going to have shipping that we can charge at the time, for those areas at the time of the Kickstarter, starting with Hamover Fest and going forward.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Beth wants to know when's the cookbook is coming.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Where we keep working on other people's things. We do. No,
well,
we
did. We did something that we did
James
for
Ward's
the
book
Victor.
for Dave Con. We found ourselves editing and laying out the James Ward might be his final work. And it was great to work on it, but the time we spent on that, we weren't working on any of our stuff. And
so we just have to finish that. There are a couple things. And now the next thing we have to jump to while we're finishing, this working on this Kickstarter management and, working on EGGCON operations, we really have to get on to, before EGGCON comes up, we have our EGGCON adventure called
Expedition.
I think it was
EGG.
Yeah, it was
I think we just renamed it an hour ago.
Something like
Goblin Gulch.
It was
Goblin Gulch, but I don't remember Expedition into Goblin Gulch. I think it is. And it's an excellent adventure.
Sure.
So yes, so that we have to finish up. We're working on that, like I said, with Chris Clark, but we really have to. We've got the meat of the work
then
to
the
do
cookbook.
now. And then we're going to do.
If you need some AD&D conversion of the module,
and maybe.
Well, we have the cookbook. It's the cookbook and the Curse of Candlelight Manor 3-book box set,
and then a few other projects.
And then we've got some other things coming, but I think those are the next 2 Kickstarters that we'll do. Will be the cookbook and Curse of Candlelight Manor 3-book box set.
Excellent. Sounds wonderful. Well, I think Vaughn had a question. I honestly don't know if this is something you guys have time for. I know you're in a bit of a time crunch. You got a million things to do.
Minutes left.
Okay. Vaughn said, "Is there a story or scene you can tell us you remember playing D&D with your dad?"
There are a few.
100.
Oh my gosh, he used to like to. You know what? He really would have liked to, because you're very similar the way you are with the kids.
Me?
Yes. Yeah. Some of the
Easy,
puns and stuff. But I remember a character when we lived in Clinton. So we moved there in 1979 beyond. And so I was playing with him and I rolled up a character and he had his Pop Lollies and Belly Bones book, which is this really cool.
I have a copy. That is a wonderful book.
I love that book. So
Sperling, great book.
Yes. And so I went through there looking for names. And so I came up with a half elf fighter thief, because, I can't make up my mind.
It's a perfectly cromulent combination of character classes.
Right. And I wanted her to be named Murphles, which, I was taking to mean freckles, because it can mean freckles or spots, on the skin. So in my character. And so then my dad was introducing, it's like, so you see this, short, female kind of half, and she has, acne all over her face. I'm like, wait, no. Anyway, that was but yes, we played too, but he used to like to do that stuff just to kind of get to us. But I think that was during the same campaign where he actually killed off Luke's 10th level fighter, Odin.
Was that the Tomb of Horrors pit?
Yes.
Sent Luke to crying.
Oh yeah, Luke cried for a long time and begged and cried, and I'm surprised. Luke was definitely my dad's favorite, because he was older when Luke was raising Luke. So
right.
Oh, maybe I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, but he made him roll up a new character and go again. He was pretty hardcore that way. I mean, he was nice about it, but in a hard ass DM way.
Sure. Gonna little bit of great Santini playing basketball in the driveway kind of going on there.
So yeah, we had some fun times. I just remember probably and those were fun times. But yeah, the best was the way he would tell stories. I can still, anytime I see just pictures of him, I can hear his voice, and him telling
Right
stories.
on.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, that dovetails nicely, and I think we can probably end on this note. Jason, how many of your characters is Erik killed, and which one is the most memorable?
I don't know if you've ever killed one of my characters, have you?
Mm.
No.
I don't think we've ever played where either one of us was DMing. We've always played together on the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, we were adventurers together. No,
This
not
is
yet.
my-
It hasn't happened yet. It will.
Oh, good.
Just-
I've given you ample ammunition to do it with, Erik. So
yeah.
you get rafts of TSR modules, and I've converted enough stuff to OD&D and AD&D for you. So
wait till
off
they
an
come
Erik
with dice.
or two. All right. Well, listen. Is there anything else you guys want to plug? Because again, I know time is an issue, so I don't want to keep you if you have other stuff to do.
We have other stuff to do.
All right.
You're like, keep going.
Oh, they're out there partying hard.
Yeah,
It's
they're-
past bedtime. They have a terrible friends addiction.
Yes, they have a friends
And,
addiction. And Batman this morning.
Oh my
Zoe was
gosh.
watching Batman, but
Excellent.
She got up
Excellent.
early and she wants to get up accidentally early and go watch something Batman on TV, which is awesome. She loves it.
That is great. So I have to ask you guys, since y'all have your headphones on,
Is my voice different now?
No,
Maybe Zoe didn't put the headphones on her.
no, it sounds about right.
haha. Very funny. Listen, it's been absolutely lovely having you guys on. Thank you
so much for inviting us. It's been really fun.
And thank you everybody for the great questions.
Yes.
Thank you guys for the great questions. Thank you, Heidi, Erik, and Jason for being here. I hope we can get together and actually get to do some gaming someday. But definitely all three of you back on the show at one time or the other. But thank you. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. It was lovely to see all of you. Jason, good luck with the module, which I don't have to wish you good luck. I know it's going to be fantastic. Same with the other stuff coming from Gaxland. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
We'll talk soon.
Peace to you guys. I am going to get out of here myself. I want to thank my awesome guests tonight and my even more awesome audience. And big ups to In Need of Coffee. Thank you for the super. That was really, really awesome of you. I appreciate it. Helps keep the lights on around here, literally. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Tomorrow night, we are live and playing Gamma World. Do not miss it. It is going to be a good time. But until then, whether or not you believe in them, they certainly believe in you. Keep your eyes peeled for the dreaded owl bears. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? It's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way out course. Naked at the toe, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in this little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing things, just take me to the show.